So, Brian and I just finished watching Another Life on Netflix, and,
Wow.
yeah, he's on the show. Guess what we're talking about on today's episode of Project Shadow?
Can you hear me? I have something to say. Project Shadow starts now.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? My name's Charlie. You might know me better as sci-fi fantasy writer C.E. Dorset, especially if you're reading my new book, Crucify My Love, which should be available everywhere except for iBooks right now because they don't know if I'm a real person yet. Still working on it.
Hey, iBooks, friendship.
And that would be Brian.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, if you don't get that reference, then you haven't been watching Naked and Afraid XL. And it's probably the greatest thing that for some reason I cannot find a gif of anywhere.
Yeah.
Look, Shane, friendship! Greatest line ever on television, and I will stand by it. So today we are going to be talking about Netflix's show Another Life. As always, we will begin without spoilers. We will give you spoiler warnings when they get started. And yeah, but before we get into all that, if you haven't already, please take a moment to rate this podcast in whatever app you're listening to me on. I guess I should say us today. I'm so used to doing this by myself. If you haven't already, please do take the moment to rate and review the show. It does help out a lot. It tells the algorithms to share the show with more people. The more people that listen, the bigger the community. The bigger the community, the more likely it is for us to actually talk to each other. And that's kind of why I do this. If you haven't noticed, I'm not just a crazy person who lives in their house and likes to talk to a microphone. Well, okay, that's a lie. I am a crazy person who lives alone in a house and likes to talk to a microphone, but I like to talk to people too. So thank you to everybody who's done that. And yeah, so we just finished watching Another Life on Netflix. And I have to say, Katie Sackhoff, who is one of the producers on the show, you might know her better as Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. Oh my goodness. She's one of the producers on the show. She's in the show. She's one of the reasons why I watched the show. That and Selma Blair's on it, and I love her. First impressions, not a classic. Like, this isn't like a show that I think is an instant masterpiece.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there are very few shows that,
Yeah.
in their first season get that, but I think The Expanse gets really close
Yeah.
to being an instant masterpiece in its first season. It's not perfect. There are some things that are weird. There are some things that are strange. And by that, I mean, like, some of the camera work and some of the editing. Like, I'm not really, like, an editing nerd, but it's kind of like kerning. And unfortunately, I watched some videos that explained what editing should look like. And now I can't unsee it. And I thought some of the editing and camera choices, especially on the early episodes, were unique and odd.
Are you saying creative in that special sort of way?
I'm saying creative in that, okay, you did that sort of way. The show is melodrama. You have to like melodrama. It very quickly ramps up to 10 and kind of stays there with a few respites, but it's like nothing good happens on the show. And I think I should like warn people about that because I did not get that warning. This show has a lot of grotesque imagery in it. It's not really space horror. I mean, it gets really close to the edges of space horror. I still think it's staying within its like sci-fi thing. It doesn't like completely like jump over and be like, Starbucks the new Ripley.
But
it dances on that line.
Yeah, it definitely plays around.
So,
it is on the border.
Yeah, I think people should be warned that there's some unexpected grotesquerie in this. And very heightened emotions. Very heightened emotions. very heightened emotions. I don't think I can say that enough. It's very
There's lots
dramatic.
of drama. Lots of drama.
And some of it's, stuff between characters, and some of it's because, oh my goodness, nobody can catch a break on anything, but we'll talk about that more in spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But
the doomed voyage.
I think the special effects look really good.
Yes.
Netflix paid some money for this show.
Yeah. And they spent a fair bit of it on grotesque stuff, which was really cool. I mean, it made it look really good.
Yeah, the gross stuff looked great. But not just that. I mean, we get the space shots. Like, that's what really one of the things you have to sell with a show like this. We're up there with, like, the last season of The Expanse, if not better, in some respects. And that looks pretty good, and the trailers for the new stuff for The Expanse look really good. So I think we're kind of in a literal space race between Netflix and Amazon Prime here on whose space show is going to look the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you still haven't canceled Lost in Space. So, season 2 anytime soon, Netflix? You just happen to be listening? Drop me a line.
Nice.
Yeah, in the show notes, you can just, you'll see a thing that says voice message. You can click that. You can leave me a message with, when it's going to be coming out, because you still haven't technically canceled it yet. Anyway, well, speaking of space shows, I would love to get a second season to Lost in Space.
Yeah.
It was very good. I don't know what else we can say without spoilers.
We don't know if there's going to be more than the one season at this point in time.
Yeah, not yet.
We do know that it was pitched as a 3-season.
We don't know if it was going to just be 3 seasons or not. Katie Sackhoff has said in an interview, she's one of the producers, I think I said that already, of the show as well, that when they pitched Netflix, they pitched a 3-season outline.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a beginning, middle, and end necessarily. It could just be, here's the first 3 seasons.
Yeah. But that was something we found reassuring after finishing the first season and going,
I hope they know where this is going.
I hope they know where this is going, and I would like more.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that's kind of the moral of the story more than anything else. I want more.
Yeah.
I like what I got. I really like some of the characters that we got to meet. Oh, for all of you who haven't left yet because we haven't gotten into spoilers, there's a non-binary character, front and center, Zane.
Yeah.
Played by a non-binary actor, which is awesome. That's the dog trying to play with the ball right now. And I was really excited to see Zane. I think Zane is a very interesting character. Really like here. They use the Z here pronouns for Zane, which was unexpected. I do wish that they'd use they, because I think that's, at least in... Sorry about the dog doing things.
It's non-transferable.
It's non-transferable. Just because I think a lot of people would be more familiar with that, maybe. Most of the non-binary people I know use they, them pronouns, but, ZZ, or if they would have used ZZer, because I think here is a confusing pronoun for people, because it sounds like her to some people, and, that's the thing. Oh, and they're not a sex object. They're actually a doctor. I'm sorry. Z is a doctor. I want to say they because, that's my brain. Anyway, really cool character. Very glad that there's so much queerness on the show. There's a polyam girl and a polyam thing that is constantly talked about on the show. That's interesting. And one of the characters, who I won't spoil, is gay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like this side thing where just, boyfriend, no, husband. Just like common conversation, just to let you know. Liked that. There was more queerness on the show than I expected going into it, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And kind of wish that they would. It may have gotten moved up on my watch list if I had done that earlier. But all in all, solid first season.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the weirdness, I don't know if I got used to it or it went away, but I liked it.
Well, that, and they also, they stuck to story, they stuck to setting elements. They didn't try to go, well, we're light on materials, so we're going to sell sex to distract from the fact that we're light on material.
And I thought they were going to.
And I thought they were going to, too, because relationships happen. People are stuck in a small tube together for a long period of time. And,
And there is sexiness, and there is sex in the show, but it fades to black.
It fades to black.
For as much as it does not fade to black for the gross stuff, it fades to black for the sex, which was nice. I'm glad to have a show that doesn't have sex position in it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, I think that's about it before we get into spoilers.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Spoiler alert. You are being spoiler alerted. We are going to talk about things that happen all the way through the first season of Another Life on Netflix. If you have not watched it yet, and you do not want to be spoiled, please do not get mad at me because you did not listen to my spoiler alert. Stop listening and come back when you're ready, because we're now going into the spoiler zone. Okay, I really want to jump right to the end. I really do. Like,
yeah.
This isn't because of the beginning not being interesting, but the Ikaya is the name of the alien race. We don't learn that until, like,
way
next
late.
To the last episode. I think it's the first time we hear that name even mentioned. So, I'm so fascinated about them. If they are, like, techno-organics, or because we don't meet one.
Yeah, because
we don't.
That's the fun thing. They start with this mystery of, the aliens have landed, there are artifacts doing things, and then it sits there and it's like, okay, well, what do they want? What are they doing? And the rest of the show, the rest of the first season, you still don't know. Like, we know.
Oh, we know why they're there.
Yeah,
they're there to conquer and take over.
Yeah, we've seen the results of 2 other planets that have gone through their artifacts.
Yes.
Their little brain crawly bugs.
Yeah. The question is, are those brain crawly bugs the Ikaya, or are they probes? I think they're probes.
Tools. Yeah,
I think they're tools.
I think they're tools.
Yeah, I think the Ikaya are a species we have not formally met yet. I don't think that they're the weird tunneling things on the rogue planet.
Yeah.
I don't think that's them at all. Not the rogue planet, on the 3rd planet. Because we land on 3 planets in this series, and they're very different from each other.
Yeah. And that one, I you almost have to wonder, were those the original inhabitants of the planet, and did they get brain bugged also, or is that just like some kind of weird other life form that lives on that planet that, because there's like no life on that planet when they get there, and they know that the artifact has been there for an extremely long time.
I think the rogue planet was punished by the Ikaya.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too.
Especially since the disease that they picked up, the boron-based virus that they picked up, caused her nervous system to basically become a giant version of the brain parasite.
Yeah, that was a nice graphic scene.
That was grotesque.
I mean, it was hilarious because, of course, by that happens earlier on in the season, and we were both expecting some kind of aliens reference, some kind of chest bursting thing, and it was like this kind of nice homage without it being too obvious, because it burst out of her back, and it was her own spinal cord, and that was
horrific.
That was kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was
really gross sort of way. It was awesome.
This show did body horror in a way I really didn't expect, but not like in the full on like The Fly or The Thing kind of body horror, but
yeah,
it really turned their everything against them. You know what I'm saying? Like
and it didn't do the usual like cheap jump scare stuff
no.
either. Like the minute you think like, what was it, the third episode or something like that, where you suddenly, you know, she it starts out with her actually asleep in the soma tube, and you get like the actual like aliens are attacking and they've like been killing, they're hunted and everything, and it's actually just her dream.
Yeah.
But I thought that was hilarious because that was when they're just doing tongue in cheek to the trope that we were expecting.
Yes.
But instead, like, no, it's they play off more of the horror elements, like, you know, first of all, what happens if one of the crew turns mutinous and then murderous and tries to take over? Like, that was the first horror thing they have to. I mean, the traitor, mutiny from within, the traitor from within.
Yeah, that was very well handled and really. That was... It
was great. I mean, it was a nice bit of horror element, especially when they're both down in engineering and, you know, and
it shows and it proves why she said he was a hothead and shouldn't be in charge.
Yeah.
Like, she says that when she, you know, very early when she finds out that they're sending the ship out, and is kind of almost relieved when they're sending her instead. But he demonstrates quite quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a hothead, and he also cannot evaluate a fight. Cause,
no.
I mean, they tried to take her down. Well, the first time when they do take her down, I mean, she took out 2 of them.
Yeah.
It took 3 of them to take her out.
And he cheated.
He cheated. He injected her with sleeping stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he knocked her out.
He knocked her out, you know, that
medically.
way. Medically. You know, so then to think that, like, with this little knife, he's going to take her.
Yeah.
By himself, like,
yeah,
dude, you're a hothead, and you obviously, yeah.
And it sets up a very interesting and different crew dynamic.
The collar.
I
had to do
it. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, a little Joker reference.
That's bad.
Old school.
Yeah, but yeah, it sets up a very interesting crew dynamic because she murders her XO who is trying to murder her. In like episode 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, that should definitely cause some friction in the group.
Played off, you know, continuing that horror and suspense, played off great when the 2 were left behind in the cave. And you think, oh crap, they did leave them. Like,
this was a show that
I was like, well, you gotta wake up 2 more Timmys because
until I saw Proof
Timmy
of Life.
The Timmy's won. The first series of Timmy's are gone. You gotta wake up your second series. Because also knowing that they had backup people.
Yeah.
I don't know how many level deep of backup people, but you know, apparently there's 2.
Well, when
a whole mess of so
when Sasha takes over the ship, he makes mention of you can wake up every computer tech on the ship, and they won't be able to bring William back, which leads me to believe that it's several levels deep.
Yeah,
it's not because she wakes up, you know, what's her name, Asami.
Yeah,
and he kills her.
I mean,
and there are apparently more that she
like
could have.
3 XOs at least, because you know she murdered the first one. She wakes up the second and third one.
It was definitely self-defense.
Yeah, I know.
I'm definitely on her side. He was going to stab her.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't really mean to kill him. She just kicked him and he fell back into the thing.
She kicked him into it. She kicked him into it. She chose to. There was a whole debate over multi episodes, and she did. She chose to kick him into it, and I think she was right.
She was right.
She was right.
Yes, but she did not murder. She did not. Her intent was not to kill him. Her intent was to save her own life. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it was.
She did not intend to kill him.
Yes, it was in self-defense.
It was the effect and the likely effect of throwing him into that weird arc thing, but
yeah,
it was also just as likely that it would break the circuit and he would just basically be tased.
It dusted a tablet. That was our previous example of what one of those shorted out electric walls would do.
A different one. It was Fine. Whatever.
I was over there chanting, for it to happen, basically, when it did.
I mean, all in all, it was such a good show. All the way through. The creation of the second AI is something that I don't think we can skip over too quickly.
Oh, no. That's... Yeah.
I love the title, being Another Life, because we have this kind of dream world in the Soma, and we have the real world. We have some really good flashbacks to simpler or much worse times, depending on the character flashing back. We have, or actually I should say the character in the time. We have the boron-based life forms, which I think is a hint towards what we're going to end up seeing with the Ikaya.
Yeah.
When we get more about them. We've met several alien species.
Yep.
From the weird giant burrowing things to the little bug things that literally bugged the ship.
Yeah.
They're literally bugs in the code. To the poor species that was on the planet that the Ikaya destroyed for having the audacity of taking out the monument.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This I think set up a really interesting series, and I can't wait to see what comes of it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add? Anything at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think not without going into, like, all kinds of other...
If you guys want us to do much more deeper breakdown, this is one of those shows I would probably enjoy doing one, and who knows, Brian and I may have a moment and just be like, hey, let's just do that, and just do it without you guys asking. But if you would like us to discuss the show in more depth, definitely let me know, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Of the new sci-fi shows that I've gotten recently, I'm not saying I'm as excited for a season 2 of this as I am for, season 4 of The Expanse, because I'm like chomping at the bit for season 4 of The Expanse. But I hate to say this because you know my love for Star Trek, I am much more excited about a possible season 2 of this than a season 3 of Discovery. And much more excited about a season 2 of this than I am about a season 1 of Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
Because the more I hear about that, the less I care. Alrighty.
So sad.
So sad.
So much love for Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess that's it. If you haven't already, please do take a moment to rate this podcast wherever you listen. If you got a buck you can throw my way, it really does help out a lot. Down in the show notes, you'll find a link for both the Patreon page and the community support tab. Difference between the two, people on Patreon occasionally get stuff. So if you want stuff, do the thing over there. If you don't, thank you to everybody who already does that. If you don't have any money or you don't feel like joining the project right now, that's fine. But if you know somebody you think might enjoy this show, please do share it with them. That helps out immensely as well.
One of us.
If, let's see. Everything is... if you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like to hear discussed on the show, I am CE Dorset on both Twitter and Instagram. Except I don't do Instagram very well. I'm working on it. It's hard. My life is not something that lends itself to pictures.
I have no room to speak.
And yours does. You're a chef, for goodness sakes.
I have so many food pictures, and I don't have an Instagram. It's sad.
I might just start aping his food pictures. Anywho, definitely hit me up over there, or in the show notes you'll find a link for the voice message. Do keep it clean so I can use it on the show, but I would love to hear from you. I enjoy all that. I think that's it. That's it. You can find links to everything over at projectshadow.com. So until next time, I'm Charlie.
I'm Brian.
And don't forget to have the fun. Bye.